Flintstones annual Black History program. That bus just gave us a glance at today. The year is 2012. Now I want you to get on the bus with us as we put the gear into reverse and back on up into the past. All across the country, schools, highways, and civic centers were named in her honor. Before this woman was referred to as the mother of the civil rights movement, in 1955, she was just an ordinary citizen. Then she sparked the battle for racial equality in Montgomery, Alabama, where she refused to move further back on the bus. Let's listen in on an interview with the mother of the civil rights movement, Rosa Parks, and radio host Karen Grigsby Bates. The year is 1984.
So why did you refuse to move to the back of the bus that day?
For one thing, I wasn't sitting in front of the bus like so many people think, even to this day. And my feet weren't hurting like so many people have said. I just had enough and made up my mind that I was no longer going to give in to enforced segregation.
So weren't you sitting in the middle seat between three other people when the bus driver asked you to move further back?
Yes. And the bus driver told us to make it easy on ourselves by giving up our seats without a fuss. At that point, the man next to me and the women stood up and moved into the aisle. In fact, I permitted the man to move past me, but I stayed in my seat. But then two Montgomery policemen got on the bus, handcuffed me, and booked me into the city jail. But when I look back, it was like a dream. The only thing that bothers me now is why did I wait so long to demand our freedom?
The year was 1955, and that arrest lit a spark of black protest and a bus boycott. It also launched the career of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The movement and Dr. King would be headline news for the next year. Dr. King dies in 1968. Rosa Parks dies in 2005 at the age of 92.
They will all be free. Hey, take it from me someday. We'll all be free. Hey, just wait and see. Someday we'll all
You know what? I'm tired of you. Who has lying and cheating just like that? You can't even shoot out with your own twin brother. Without cheating. But you're not a roller, bro?
Who do you think you're talking to? You just mad because I always win, no matter what the situation is. Swimming, I'm trigonometry. Matter of fact, you just jealous of me.
Marty, Clark,
Boy, guys, cut it out.
Mom, how come they keep acting stupid? They don't even care that we can see the light.
They just want to be sweet. You don't even know how dumb they look.
You're right. Right. But you know what? Maybe instead of dumb, maybe the word is ignorant. See, people don't know better if they haven't been taught better. You know what, Reagan? Your brother was able to give you a good answer. Maybe they're just acting like their parents. You know, they shouldn't be so hard.
Martin.
We have to.
Nana, why don't we just all get along? You have to pray for them coming.
Each time the unity and you know this is true. What are we gonna do? Each time we work together, let's work it. There's better attitudes and strength in our mind. For our lives on the line, we got to do but better.
He went to Selma, Alabama to march with Dr. Martin Luther King. He was with him at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis on that fatal day in 1968 when Dr. King was murdered. He ran for President of the United States in 1984 and 1988. So sit back and listen to portions of the speech he gave at the Democratic National Convention in 1984. The Reverend Jesse Jackson!
Today, we'll come together, bound all faith in a mighty God, with genuine respect and love for our country, and the legacy of the Democratic Party. This is not a perfect party. We are not a perfect people, yet we are called for a perfect mission: to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, house the homeless, provide jobs for the jobless, and to choose the human race over the nuclear race. Leaders must heed the call of conscience, expansion, redemption, and heed the call that we all need as a unity, community. We all got to look out for each other.
Share the glory and tell the story how love and help you overcome my problem and make us step up the ladder. Let us give respect and do protect God and value. They'll always with us. A priority matter.
You know, these kids today, they don't know a doggone thing about their history. And in a way, it's our fault. What do we think was going to teach them?
I don't know. In fact, I don't even know about the market.
That means you don't know who you really are. I know one thing, I'll start doing my part.
Read about Malcolm. Just a knucklehead and happy-headed nigger. Young man, do you really know what you're saying? First of all, Jesus' skin was dark. He had hair of lamb's wool. So I guess his hair would be considered natural. And that word nigger was originally pronounced Niger, referring to the people who lived along the Niger River. Foreigners who visit that part of the world called the natives who live in this huge expansion, Niger. So when you get off my bus and get your behind back home, go and do some research so you don't ever again mispronounce the word Niger.
That was awesome.
Before there was any history, there was always history. To seek the truth, to know myself, to you, this should be no mystery. This time of unity, and we know this is true. What are we gonna do? It's time to work together.
The history and legacy of Black America is the moral imperative of justice for all. It is the concept of divine equality that originated from the continent of Africa, which is the birthplace of humanity. But here in America, I sometimes wake up to the deep, dull, thin wail of agony that seeps from the pores of my people, brought on by prolonged oppression. I see a people subconsciously draped in the culture of survival that's steeped in confusion. So much confusion.
We lost our history, our name, our culture. We lost our God's way. But God has raised us from the dead. And this is why we say, it's time for unity and we know this is true. What are we gonna do? It's time to work together.
Well, bound by Dr. Martin Luther King, crying out from his grave for us to reach common ground. We are bound by shed blood and shed sacrifices. We got to reach common ground. We have to reach common ground for us to be better as a unit, for us to come closer together. We must turn to each other, not on each other. Time is neutral. Does not. We must not measure greatness from the Balky well, from the mention down, but by the measure up. We must not measure greatness. We must measure greatness from not. Jesus said that we should not be judged by the bulk we wear, but by the fruit we bear. We must measure greatness from how we treat the least of these.
God, meet me where I'm at and position me where you want me to be. God, meet me where I'm at and position me. I'm being honest as I possibly can. I surrender to the fact that I don't understand. It's time for unity and we know this is true. What are we